Hi there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to show you the construction activities, the quantity of materials, as well as its cost and the cost of labor to bring these 6 units of two-bedroom flats from the first decking to the second decking level. That implies the block work, the iron work, the carpentry work, the lintel, the casting, and the rest of them to take it from the first decking to the second decking. Stay tuned as we take you through the process. Soon after the decking work is completed and watered, the setting out of block from the first decking level begins. And this setting out is similar to what we did on the ground floor. So first of all, we bring out the long walls. That's the major load-bearing walls, which are longer than the others. Taking a clue from what we already have from the ground floor with the long plumb, then square all the edges and ensure that the 4 edges of the building are perfectly done. Then from there, we now mark out the internal spaces, bringing out the doors and the windows at their appropriate courses of blocks. So here, that is the work that is being done. Most of the spaces have already been marked out, and the block work has continued. Just as we do in other projects, on the first day of setting out of blocks, we work in unison. In that, we bring out 2 or 3 masons that are experienced in forming of blocks. So they help out with the engineer to form the necessary walls, while the others continue to chalk and, of course, put all the necessary blocks in place. So that is what the work that is going on here after the setting out, and this makes that on the first day of setting out we don't go so high because we take our time to form the blocks and of course know how to compensate the mason men as well as their labors for that day. Now the setting out involves of course marking out the internal spaces, the external walls, and then marking out on the floor the door spaces. And for this particular project, the window level is at 3 blocks. That implies after the 3rd course of block, we will mark out the windows and then carry on the block work there. So this implies the windows will start growing after the 3rd course of block, and of course to the lintel level. Yeah, this is the 3rd class of block here. But the exception to this is the toilet windows, and as well as the window for the kitchen. The window for the kitchen normally starts at 5 courses of block, while that of the toilet is at the 6th course of block. So, one of the things we use to achieve our projects on target is to do our work in sections. Now, after the 2nd day of work, normally most of the blocks in one side of the building would have gotten to lintel. And that's exactly what we achieved here. Such that the 3rd day of work, the carpenters started their work of putting up the bottom for the lintels, as well as the plumb level to ensure that it's relatively level. Then at the same time, The iron bender is also working to ensure that the iron work is fitted on the lintel as needed. So one of the things we use to ensure project success is to ensure that everyone is aware and of course working towards the target. For instance, if everyone is aware of what we want to achieve, there wouldn't be conflict. For instance, the iron bender would know the flats to start with and of course concentrate on that area and finish it so that the carpenter can also do his work around that area. Like as you can see here, the iron bender started from this flat, and as he completed his work completely here, he moved to the other side, and that gave the carpenters room to focus on this side and start their own work too. And this will help us as soon as they are done boarding, we can cast the lintels of this area and start the leveling work. And of course, but as at this time, the plumber has already put the necessary pipes in it to pass through some places to the next level. Upon the carpenter completing the lintel work on one side, the casting of the lintel of that side begins. And this also helps us to do the working sections. So as we are casting this side of the building, the carpenter is working on the other side of the building. And after the casting, the next day, the leveling of blocks on that particular side can begin. And of course, this helps us to meet target, ensuring that no time is wasted in the site. And mark you, the leveling of blocks marks the end of the block work for each stage. Now we are leveling to the second decking level. So that is the work that's being done here. And of course, you can see the plumber trying to fit in, extend some pipes where they're supposed to be, so that it wouldn't need to start cracking the wall afterwards. Now, after all the necessary preparations, which includes the, of course, the block work, the carpentry work, the iron bending work, the plumbing work that passes through some parts of the lintels, the electrical work that passes part of the lintels, then the lintel is cast. After the casting of the lintel, the leveling work begins. And now, initially we used to level buildings with 2 blocks, but right now, because of the quest to get higher headroom, we now level with 3 blocks, which helps us, including the decking beam, we now make it like 4 blocks, such that after POP, we'll still have enough headroom by the end of the day. So during leveling, the crowd in the site normally reduces, because we ensure that the masons that are working are those who are experienced and of course strong enough to carry the blocks to that level and would not give us a bent wall. So here we use a few people who are good enough to handle the leveling work, to do the work. And by the time the leveling is completed, the milestone is assumed completed. So, by the time the block work and other associated work activities were completed from decking 1 to decking 2 level, it was observed that the following materials were reused: 47 16mm rods, 65 12mm rods, 60 8mm rods, 3,500 blocks. That's the 9 inches blocks that were used. Then 150 bags of cement. The boards we used for the lintels were 120. Then we had 3 trips of sand and 20 tons of chippings. 1 trip of 20 tons of chipping that were brought to the site. Then, of course, there were other small electrical and plumbing materials that were used to achieve these projects to this level. In all, the total cost of the materials used to complete this milestone of the project, that is the decking 1 to the decking 2 of this project, was 7,859,000 naira. That is the cost of the materials. Similarly, the total cost of the labor and supervision. Now, the labor comprises of the block work labor, that's the fees for the mason and their helpers, then the carpentry work, the iron work, then the casting that was done, then the electrical work, as well as the plumbing work, including the engineer's fees for this project, was 1,850,000 naira. This brings the total cost for this milestone to 9,709,000 naira. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you in our next one.